Don't let them give me no painkillers. You know why?
Why?
Because I wanted to feel the pain. I wanted to feel it because I know if I can hold on to this pain forever, then I can get through anything forever. But I'm more than that. Now, you done gave me a definition that, that's one thing I am. You know what I'm saying? But I'm way more than that.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people get caught up in being defined.
Hey, hold up there, sir. Pump your brakes. You in the hot seat today.
Oh, snap!
So ain't no yumping coming on in the intro by you today. So we flipping it.
Would you like to do the pleasures?
Thank you. Oh, YUMP.
Yeah.
Peace and love to the people. We all got power. We all equal. It's your boy Simmons. If you don't know who I am the man that's on the other side of the camera. I just happen to be on this side because we're changing things up today because as Francisco has been interviewing different people and whatnot, we're going to put him in the hot seat. So, what up, my boy?
Was you born?
Hey, thank you for allowing me the pleasure of partaking in this as we close out the season.
Hey man, it's the last episode, man, season 1.
Hey man, it's been a journey. We came a long way. And just as a disclaimer, if you see me sweating and stuff, I wear glasses, so I try to be upfront with people. So that's just me. But anyways, we came a long way, man. We go all the way back to high school. We went to high school together. We seen each other grow throughout the years and develop into men. And from afar, we paid attention to one another and watched how each other developed and grew into its own. And it came to a point where he reached out to me because he seen me working with cameras or whatnot. And he had this idea to start the Yumpyard brand. And we start testing stuff out and whatnot, and we started filming some things. And now we 11 episodes deep. We got some stuff in the tuck too, but but we're 11 episodes deep. But let's go back to the beginning. Where did the Yumpyard idea come from?
Man, that's crazy, man. So the Yumpyard idea really came from, back in the day, man, like on the block, we had a little posse called the Junkyard. You know what I'm saying? So it was a junkyard and then the Smith Mile crew. So we used to always, man, just hop out and just start scrapping. As young boys, man, it's important for you to...
You got to get down with
you know what I'm saying? You have to get out there and just start getting it in, man. So we used to hop off of roofs and all that shit, man. So we was a junkyard posse, and then fast forward just a few years after that, it turned into the Yumpyard. So the Yumpyard actually started off as a record label, man. I started a record label at the age of, it was about 22 years old when I was, living out there in LA. And I was actually the youngest person on the label. So I was signing people that was older than me, man, from different genres, from rap to reggae, dancehall, the whole nine. And so, I always had this business mind, and that's where it all started, man, was the Yumpyard Records. But the thing is that, although it was very successful very, very quickly, again, I was young. I didn't have wisdom, to go along with the ideas. So then I started moving around, man, from country to country, or excuse me, from state to state. I moved around a lot. And then, eventually that kind of just went down. But I always told myself, man, when the time is right, I'm going to bring the Yumpyard back in the right light.
Okay. So it started as a label, but how did it transform into this philosophy? Give us a breakdown of the philosophy and how it became that.
Good question, man. So actually the YUMP philosophy, well, first of all, YUMP, for those of you who don't know, stands for you underestimate my potential. You see, like I go to a lot of these seminars, I've taken you to quite a few of them as well. And the key word that always came up was potential. A lot of speakers talk about tapping into your potential. So I just kept hearing this word, and then it took me back to even the time I was born. You know what I mean? I was born with my mom's umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. You know what I'm saying? So when it came time for me to take that breath, that first gasp where the soul enters the body, I couldn't do it, so like a blockage. And then next thing you know, I guess it was multiple souls that came in, I don't know. But anyways, So, you know, my potential has been underestimated from day one because, as my mom tell it, they didn't think I was even going to make it. You know, the doctor didn't have no faith that I was going to be able to make it, but I'm here now.
Yeah.
So just from the beginning, man, moms always remind me, like, look, you know what I'm saying? Like, you here because of a doctor's slap. You here because, you know, something wanted you here. Something kept you here. You wasn't supposed to be here. So just from birth, dog, I've been underestimated. And as we go through this, you know, we go through the story a little bit more too, man. So, yeah, man, just like being underestimated, the philosophy behind that is using underestimation to fuel your destination. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can resonate with that because everybody have that potential inside of them. It's about tapping into yourself and tapping into your higher self.
Right.
Because you can operate at your beginning stage when you try something. You're at the base level, but there's so much to unlock and become. We're all becoming and evolving. The caterpillar becoming a butterfly. Right. So as the YUMP, you underestimate my potential. This is the evolution of you becoming Francis J. Nunez.
Right.
As you said, like you was in the streets or whatnot. That was you as a boy, and you had to feel around. You probably didn't have all the correct guidance or whatever the case, or you were just emulating what was in your environment. But as you became aware and start awakening and becoming who is today, that's when you start tapping into that potential.
Absolutely.
And the worst thing you could do is underestimate yourself. There's going to be a lot of people that's going to underestimate you, but you shouldn't underestimate you. Right. So that's a key point. So let's break it down, because I'm like, you've done a lot of these interviews, tapping into a lot of these other people successful in their own right. Let's get to really know who Francis is, because I know you. You know, we go way back and we interact on the daily. But let's walk it down. You know,
right.
So, what was your upbringing like? Like, go break down the upbringing, because I want them to see the evolution of how you became the person you became today.
Yeah, man. So I was born in Gardena, California. You know what I mean? Raised off of 80th and San Pedro. Partied a lot as a youngster. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a Belizean, so you know, those of you who are Belizean out there, man, you know that we party. And if you have Belizean neighbors, you know that we party. You know, and so we partied a lot, bro. Like, from Thursday to Sunday, you know, as a young kid.
Police get called on you all the time.
Dog, it's crazy, man. It's because I was like, me and my family, we just in these environments, man. Me and my young cousin, man, we just in these environments from young. You know what I mean? We seen the drinking, we seen the smoking, we seen all that shit, but we seen partying, dog. So like, just growing up, I always just knew I was going to be in the party scene. I was going to be in the streets because I just resonated with it. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. So, you know, I had an uncle, man. His name was LSD. And, you know, he really was the one who had me tap into my, you know, my confidence, you know, like LSD, man, he walked into a building, he walked into the house party, the club, and he just lights the whole thing up. You know what I mean? So I remember, man, like when as a youngster, man, he would, you know, walk me on his shoulders, and then we would just go through the whole, you know, it was house parties at the time. So we go through the whole little house, man, where the dance floor is and all that, with me on his shoulders, you know, him dancing and stuff, and him just like resonating the whole room, dog. And that was like my youngest mentor at the time. You know, he was my young uncle. I was a young boy, and he just literally had all the charisma in the world. You know what I mean? So he was an artist as well, a dancehall artist. And that's how I got into like the music scene. Yeah. You know, so I started, you know, doing music at a young age. Like, he'd be rocking the stage, and then he would just give me the mic, and I'll just get on the mic and start busting. And he was a dancer, man. So, you know, he had like explicit dance moves, and he would get on, you know, on the dance floor, man, and then I emulate what I seen. So as a young kid, like, I don't know if you see videos going around now, but it's like, you know, the young kid that know how to, like, you know, dry rating and thrust his hips, and you know what I mean, and do explicit dance moves.
Have you ever seen dancehall videos? It get crazy.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So boom. Right. Fast forward a little bit from there. You know, it was basically like a transitional period, man, in my life where I was like really trying to tap into who I was, man. So I had to get out there and I had to find myself. I put myself in a whole lot of situations. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like a wild head, dread head nigga that was just going out here and just, you know, causing ruckus, you know? But in my mind, I always knew that I was going to be something special. I always knew that I was going to be something smart, something that thought beyond beyond the extraordinary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I knew deep down I had to go through situations. I had to go through ups and downs, trivial moments, hard times, and things like that. And that's what really made me who I am today. So when I come across people, man, and like they see who I am, they don't necessarily see the things I've been through, because I've always held those things dear to me, because I always felt like that was my superpower.
Yeah.
So being shot 5 times, you know what I mean? That was something that would have mainly changed some people, but it didn't really change me that much. If anything, it may have made me worse, because I felt like I was invincible. You know what I mean? I was a fighter, man. I love to fight. I know how to fight. And that was just my thing, dog. Like, anybody say anything to me that I didn't like, we gonna just have to get down. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not an arguer. I don't have comebacks. I don't have clapbacks. It's just, look, it's either we get along or we fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the evolution of all of that, man, was basically just being able to bottle these things in, bottle up these emotions, and bottle up these experiences that I had growing up. And we'll unpack that a little bit more too as we continue to go. But it was just really like bottling these things up and using them in different situations. And I got sent out to Job Corps, and that changed my life too, man. You know what I mean? Getting sent out to Job Corps, I had to go out to Utah. And that taught me how to deal with white people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I hear, like, I didn't really deal with white people.
There's real diverse out here in California.
You know what I'm saying? But that taught me how to, like, deal with white people and still be who I am and let them conform to my environment. You know what I mean?
And that's a superpower, because you got to know how to stay true to you and not get lost in the sauce of things. Because a lot of times people, they get thrown into new environments and they feel like they have to conform to what's going on around them to be able to survive and thrive. And to a certain extent, like, there's a time to be turned up and there's a time to be professional. But you got to know how to always be your authentic self within and find the balance of it. You know, so like that's what I'm hearing, is that you learned how to stay true to you and still be respectful, and you're becoming more aware of different just environments that you can be in where it can help you grow. Because if you went to Job Corp and it's like, okay, this is completely different from what I was doing. So how did that experience help mold you to go forward?
Shit, the Job Corps thing is specifically, I'll say, Job Corps is a trip, dog. Because when we went to Job Corps, I ran Job Corps. You know what I mean? Like, it was funny because, anybody want to fight, I'll set up the fights and all that shit. Like, they have to come to me and I'll set all the whole thing up. Ask anybody. I started up a studio there at Job Corps. I was just like really just making my way through that thing because I know how to communicate. You know what I mean? And I know how to persuade and convince people of my ideas. So I was able to talk to these high level individuals that was on top of Job Corps and, tell them, hey, this is what we need down here. And then the people who followed me, which was pretty much, anybody who was, a knucklehead at Job Corps, was like majority of people. Job Corps is like a jail for kids who don't have no real guidance and shit. They don't know where they're going with life, and like they don't try the streets, they don't try there. They try to get their life right. They go to Job Corps, they bring the environments that they raised in here, so it's like a mix. And then out there in Utah, it wasn't just white people there, because at the time that I was there, this is when Katrina happened. So a lot of people from like Louisiana was coming out there. I mean, people from Detroit, people from Chicago, New York. It was like just a grip of different environments, man, all mixed into one. You know what I mean? So me being like the LA nigga, I'm just like, look, this is how we gonna operate, this is how we gonna do this thing. You know what I mean? And so we had structure, but the thing is that what Job Corps taught me is actually that, look, you don't necessarily have to have a degree. You can get a trait, and when you get a trait, then that can lead you into different certain circumstances and situations in regards to a career. So the trait that I originally went in there for was to become like a mechanic. I was just like, look, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna go in there. I'm gonna be a mechanic. So as I start figuring things out and asking questions, I start figuring what's going to be my quickest way out of here, because I was trying to get out of here as quick as possible. So I came across something called composites. Right, so composites is basically carbon fiber, dealing with these type of things. And with carbon fiber, you can build like airplanes and rockets and all that type of stuff. So then that's when I figured out, okay, cool, I'm gonna do this. It's only a 3-month program at DATC, Davis Applied Technology College. That's Job Corps paid for me to do that, to go there. And even that was turned up. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was fun. So getting that, man, getting my composite certificate, I was able to start working in the aerospace industry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then that's when I was like, oh shit, hold on. It's a whole new life out here.
Yeah.
But again, I always stayed who I was. And then as I started like growing in the industry, man, that's when I started realizing, okay, you know, this is actually pretty cool, man. So I moved back to LA, back to the house I actually got shot in, and I started working for Elon Musk at SpaceX. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, dog. And no, just being around that dude really shifted my life, man. So all of this started from Job Corps, you know what I mean? But before Job Corps, all of this started from me just being a knucklehead, you know, me trying to figure out my way as an adolescent, as a young kid, going through the trials and tribulations, and then ending myself in Job Corps. From Job Corps, I got a trade. From the trade, I started working at SpaceX. From SpaceX, I got real close with Elon Musk, you know, so it got to a point where, like, anytime he was walking down the aisle and watching him, like there, before you get there and there after you leave, we working 16-hour days, 7 days a week, and he's still there. You know what I mean? Just watching him, dog, and his work ethic and knowing what all he had going was just like, damn, like, okay, it's a whole nother level to this shit.
That's crazy.
You know?
So, okay, you're breaking down your upcoming as far as coming from LA or whatnot, then transition to Job Corps, then you got to SpaceX. What was a pivotal moment prior to like making the changes necessary that really shifted you to really move differently and not be so heavily just on just turn up time and all of that? What was that thing that just clicked in your head and really unlocked the potential? Just like, oh, I really can be. I'm Superman if I want to be. Like I'm the star of this movie. This is my movie. Main character energy movie. main character energy.
That's funny.
So like, what was that thing where you just realized this is my movie?
Yeah, that's funny though. I mean, my boy always talking about I got main character energy. But honestly, man, that really came from when I was young, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like I had players, man, that was surrounding me. You know what I mean? I wasn't raised by no regular schmegglers, man, by no suckers. You know what I mean? I was raised by the real G code, man. So I understood the G code as an adolescent, as a young boy. You know what I mean? I understand, don't tell, don't snitch, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stand on your own and hold your own and you know what I mean? Like loyalty and take accountability, man. You know what I mean? So I was just raised around some fly shit. I was raised around, you know, players getting females. I was raised around niggas just throwing hands and you know, I even see my pops go through some crazy shit, man. I almost killed motherfuckers, and I was just like, damn, dog, like this is what the fuck I'm around, you know? So as a young kid, man, I just seen a lot, and I was just like, it was regular to me, you know?
But what was that thing, that moment where, because I understand you kind of were cultivated with confidence at a young age, but as an adult, like becoming your own, what was that thing that's just like, okay, my potential is just endless, it's limitless?
Well, yeah, shit, man. Speaking of limitless and fearless, you know what I mean? We got it right here, man.
There you go.
Right there on the forearm. But I would say, of course, you know, getting shot made me really feel like I was fearless, you know, and limitless. And it really made me feel like, as if like, okay, I'm really here for something, because something been trying to take me out of this world way too long, man. And something been keeping me in this world a long time as well. And it's going to continue to keep me in this world as well, because I'm walking in my God's purpose.
Yeah, facts.
So, yeah, for sure, man. You know what I'm saying? Like getting shot and just knowing that, you know, I was solid about that shit too. You know what I mean? I know who shot me. I didn't tell, no court dates, none of that shit. We just, you know, did what had to be done. You know what I mean? So nothing from there, you know what I mean, transpired into anybody going into jail. You know, so
nothing at all. Nothing happened. let's make that clear.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just what it is, dog. Like nobody went to jail for that shit. You know what I mean? And it's gonna stay that way. You know. So at the end of the day, like that right there, man, just made me look at life a whole different way. It's like, man, look. Going through that made me realize that the only thing that hurt about dying is the people you leave behind. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And on my deathbed, like I'm seeing people come into the hospital, like, you know, I'm in and out of consciousness, and I see people coming into the hospital, you know, dropping tears on my shoulder, dropping tears on my face from their face, and I ain't dropping not one tear. You know what I mean? Like the doctor was trying to pump me up with fucking painkillers. I didn't accept none of that. And I tried to, and I told my mom too, like don't let them give me no painkillers. You know why? Why? Because I wanted to feel the pain. I wanted to feel it, because I know if I can hold on to this pain forever, then I can get through anything forever.
Powerful. Sometimes you gotta have a fuel to push you. Sometimes people take pain and turn that into fuel. It's like, man, I can never, like, I remember when my ribs was touching, never again. Like, I remember when I was down to $2, never again. It's like the story with The Rock, when he remembered he had $7 to his name before he started his production company. And look at him now, one of the biggest stars ever. That was the catalyst of you becoming Francis J. Nunez of who we see today, the Superman, right there. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, that's respect. But being a man, a family man, Peter Griffin, if you will. What's the importance of your life now being a father and a husband?
I'll say, like, the importance now of being a father and a husband is basically, raising my children the way I didn't. Okay, most people know that, I was out there, like, I mean, I had women, I was a playboy, So at the end of the day, I just really remember how these women were. And I always told myself, when I have a child, and if I have a daughter, I'm going to raise her how not to be like these women are. And I always remember, some of the niggas I hang around with, some of the people I hung around with, and I always tell myself, well, I'm going to raise my sons not to be exactly like this, So I realized that my moves and my actions are what's really training my children and my wife. Because at the end of the day, like, everyone around me, in a sense, gets trained because of my actions and the way I move. And I don't necessarily have to speak to them a lot and teach them a lot because I show everything in action. But, actually having children, having my daughter first is what really, set things apart. Because having a daughter, you realize that, okay, there's certain things you just can't do. You know what I mean? And certain things you just don't want them to see. And so, like, when I first see my daughter, man, I spoke to her in an educated way. I spoke to her the same way I would speak to you if we having like a mastermind conversation.
I witnessed this.
Yeah. So, like, when I speak to my daughter, I speak to her like she got sense. And when she speaks to me like she has sense.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And same thing with my sons, man. My 3-year-old Trey's a little, he's a hothead for sure. But definitely, man, like, he's going to be something special, and so is Kaiser, and so is True, man. So to answer your question, though, man, what I try to instill into my children is the same principles that was instilled into me. You know what I mean? Like, walk with morals, have ethics, and then also, when no one is watching, do the right thing.
Facts. Okay, we went down memory lane and we got to know you a lot deeper and better. The man from the streets to being a family man, the podcaster right now. We talked to a lot of amazing people during this journey. What was some of the takeaways that stuck with you, like, through all the interviews?
Yeah. I mean, shit, man, this is episode 11. And it's crazy because our last episode with Pookie, he reminded me that it's really been down there a year.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that.
It seemed way shorter than that.
I didn't realize that, yeah.
You know what I mean? So shout out to Pookie F and Rude, man. You know what I mean?
Shout out.
If you didn't watch the episode, go back and watch that one. But we'll start from the beginning, man. The first episode was David Williams, $30 million plus, man. Actually going into some really, really major deals where it's going to be way more than $30 million. And I'm proud to just call this man a mentor, a brother, and a friend. So one thing about him is, like, turning your adversity into your story, and using hurt in creating avenues for other people. He started the 5th Degree Academy, which teaches children about money, about finances, of course, which is money, and about freedom, the 5 F's, and fitness and faith. And so just seeing how he transformed his hurt shit, of his brother dying, into a purpose of him giving back to children because he wished that his brother would have had this education growing up. Like, I was like, that's pretty cool, man. So using my Yumpyard platform, I definitely want to do something like that as well. Be able to give back and coach and mentor, those who are actually out there. And you got to go deeper into the mind for these people, man, so you can bring out what's in my mind so they can know, like, I'm really there when it comes to the mental stability and stuff. Secondly was John the juicer. So with him, man, just about juicing and the fact that you don't necessarily have to eat all the time, and to flush your system, you drink your juices. And I actually tried the juice. You tried the juice too, right?
It was fire.
Good, right?
It was fire.
Divine Juicery. So make sure you go watch that. That was episode 2. Episode 3 was Francisco Jara. Francisco Jara.
That was one of my favorites.
Yeah. So me and Francisco, man. So those who don't know, I am a real estate broker, and I'm a very successful real estate broker, and I'm very, very good at what I do, and I really take care of my clients. So I met Francisco because he's a mortgage broker, and we work on the same floor, on the 3rd floor, out in Rancho Cucamonga, at the Legacy Workspace. Shout out to Legacy Workspace, and shout out to the Mortgage Phoenix group. And when I first met Francisco, he had this aura about him, this frequency, and I was like, okay, let me test this temperature, and let me speak to him on some languages. You know what I mean? So I start speaking that spiritual language, dropping certain things. Once you start talking about frequency and vibration, that'll open somebody's ear, and then how deep you can go about that shit will really, let somebody know that you're really there. So we start talking about some frequency and vibrations. Of course, that's like the base that just gets your foot in the door into a spiritual conversation. And then I started letting them know a little bit about how I'm actually there esoterically, and he started letting me know how he's there in regards to combining the masculine and feminine, and then bringing that into business, giving business soul. And so that right there, our conversations from early on led to us actually getting on a podcast together and dropping some gems back and forth. So you guys go watch that.
Definitely a must watch. Definitely.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I like that one.
And episode 4. That was Sigmund, I believe, right? Sigmund
was on a golf course.
Yeah, we was on a golf course, man. We had fun. You probably got the whole production on that one, dog.
Yeah. We was on the golf course. That was quite a day because a lot of moving around. My man didn't do too hot on the club that day.
He got me on a bad day, man.
He didn't do too hot.
Golf is like that, dog. Golf is like that, man. But golf teaches you a lot about life, and just a lot about how you can just maneuver out here, man. Some days you got it, some days you don't. But on days you got it, man, should take full advantage of that. Remind me of episode 5. So episode 5 was who was it?
My mind drawing a blank.
Okay, so
my memory don't be hitting all the time.
And then who was it? Damn. Where did we go?
We both lost on that one.
Yeah. Shout out.
We'll come back to that one.
Yeah, man. But so with Sigmund though, man, we talked about CRM systems and coaching and things like that. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool, man. And shout out to Go High Level. I just interviewed the co-owner of Go High Level, my boy Robin, man. So make sure you guys go check out that. But yeah, man, like this has been an incredible journey, man. Just interviewing people and really getting to pick their brains and see why their underestimation turned them into such a beast. You know what I mean? Because I feel like we've all been underestimated. That's why this show means so much to me and to others, because we can all relate on being underestimated. Name one person out there who has never been underestimated.
Facts. So talking about CRMs, let's walk down that path for a moment as far as we talk business and the importance of having a CRM system and being able to connect with your clients and being consistent about it.
Yeah. So, the thing about a CRM, which is customer relationship management, that basically, you can put that on autopilot. It takes about a day or two to just get all your emails, ready up front, all your text messages ready up front. And then you have all of these people from their emails, their phone number, their date of birth, the day you saw them in my house, the day you met them, the kids' birthdays, the whole 9. You have all of these touch points, right? In which you can reach out to them automatically through an automatic drip campaign. And then this CRM system also reminds you to give them a real personal call. It reminds you that their birthday is tomorrow. So, hey, shoot them a quick little video like, hey, man, happy birthday. I sent you a gift. Hope you get it. And it's really just staying in communication and in contact with your clients. And let's say if you have a new business idea, right? You build this database of over 1,000 people. Now you have a new idea. All you have to do is just shoot that idea in the email and send it out to all 1,000 people. And then especially if they already believe in you, trust in you, and have faith in you, they've already been opening up your emails, so it's not going directly into spam.
Yeah. The importance of it, because what I learned as far as being in business, you really have to build connections. A lot of times people are just so quick to just go for the dollar, and they don't really worry about, are they really servicing this customer and really providing the maximum efficiency on the business that they're delivering. But when you develop an actual, especially with real estate or with shooting content or whatnot, really being in touch with them and with the CRM system. So put it like this. You ever been scrolling down IG and you just happen to see some type of ad, you click it to ask for your name, phone number, email, you put it in, not shortly after you get an email or you get a text message. That's pretty much the CRM system where it stores you into the database. Now on our end, we're able to reach out to you, connect with you and develop a relationship. And the people that learn how to be personable with people and really have that connection and dial in with them, you last longer with that client. They're going to recommend you to people because you made them feel a certain type of way as far as like they're being seen and being heard as far as their needs. And the thing that people are going to always remember is how you made them feel. Absolutely. So if you made them feel bad or you made them feel good, they're going to remember that experience and go accordingly. So if he sold you a house and he made you feel great, at the end of the day, when you just happen, your sister, brother, or whoever is looking for a house, oh, Francis is a go-to. Go, like, that's how that works. Working on your relationships and dialing in and being personable. Doing a quick little birthday, hey, happy birthday, how was your vacation? Like, stuff like that where you dial in. So the CRM system is definitely necessary. And then you create landing pages for it as you plug it in. It's a lot that go into it. Yeah. But he definitely got that down pat because I've seen it firsthand.
Check your mic real quick. Is it green? Yeah. Okay, just make sure. Yeah, man. Yeah. So definitely, dog. Like that's the thing, and then that goes back to just the hustling days too. You know what I mean? If you got a good product and then you sell it once, you want to make sure that you continue to have this person's phone number. When you get a new product, or re-up on your product, you text message this person or you let them know, hey man, I got some new stuff. You want to try it out? It's all about staying in communication with your customers, man. Shit. Even when I was back in the streets, man, I would let my customers know that, hey, I got something coming on this time. Give me your number. Give me your social media. Whatever, and I'll reach out to you, however I'm gonna find you at the time. It was, and so at the end of the day, man, it's all about that. And even, hey, if somebody say, well, shit, today my birthday, all right, cool, I'll low-key store that in my phone in a note or just in a text message to myself or email to myself. So I always had this tracking system from before I even knew about CRM systems. You know what I mean? And I sold all type of stuff, man. I had shoes, belts, weed, bills. I mean, you name it, I had it. And I was like your everyday stop. You know what I mean? So if I drop off a belt to you, like a Gucci belt or something like that, or some shoes or something, I also had something else to go with that. I know you're going out to party tonight, so you'll need some treats.
Unbeknownst to him, that's upselling. At the time, he didn't even know what he was doing. Yeah. So it's funny how you locked in the street mentality, and you don't even know how much business you know at the time. So it's just I got a little special, you get 2 for $5, little stuff like that. Yeah. And just knowing that you upselling and not even knowing, because that was going to be my next question is that, what are some of the things in the street that you transition with in the professional world? Right.
See, it's pretty much just like that, you know? So it's pretty much like, okay, you got to know about wholesaling. You got to know about, where your product is being made, where you're going to get your product, how much you're going to mark it up, what is your profit margins, you know what I mean? How much you're going to reinvest into that. And then also, weighing out your stuff. And that even weighing stuff out, fast forward now, that even goes to the way I weigh out my food. You know what I mean? What am I intaking into my body? You know what I mean? How many calories am I taking in? How much fat am I taking in? How much protein am I taking in? So you break everything down, and then you section it off. So just going back to that, it's like, okay, so you got to know, your inventory. Are you going to be wholesaling things? Are you going to sell it on a mass? Are you going to sell it distributed, on small little sections and things like that? And then also, where you're going to store these things at. And again, going back to the CRM system, look, when you have something new, a new product that may be better than the last one you So how are you going to let the people know that you got something new? You know, and I was always running around, man. So I was always coming around new stuff, you know, and I always have my eyes open the same way I do now. So if I come across somebody with a good business idea, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to listen. I'm going to intake it. If it makes sense for me, then I may partake in it. If it doesn't, I'm going to let you know straight up, I don't want to partake in that, you know? And it was the same thing. Just like I said, I sold multiple things, you know what I mean? And anytime I sold one thing, best believe, man, when I pop that trunk open, I got multiple things you can buy from me right here, right now. You know?
Hey, went from grams of weed to grams of meat, weighing out the food, pause. But
yeah, you gotta get your micros in, man.
So let's break down as far as you and your fitness journey. I've been seeing how you start getting deep into that.
Yeah.
I've seen that you've been networking with some big time influencers like Wes Watson, really dialing in. Like, walk me down on the fitness journey and what it means to stay in shape, mind, body, and soul and spirit, you know?
Right. Well, first and foremost, man, I don't give a fuck what nobody say about my dog, man. Shout out to Wes Watson. If you ain't on a coaching calls, you don't know what's really going on. You can see what's online, you can take it from there, but if you ain't paying that money on, you know what I'm saying? You ain't paying that money on, and you ain't really on these coaching calls, on these Zoom calls, and letting him break everything down for you, you ain't got shit to say about shit. Point blank and simple, man. So shout out to my boy Wes Watson, man. And basically, man, what he taught me was, listen, dog, you know, use your story to really get out there and show people and bring them in so that you can teach them. You know what I mean? Because everyone has a story. It's all about how you're utilizing your story. And then he say, listen, like, it just looks better if you in shape.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So if you go be online, it just looks better if you in shape. You know, so I say, okay, well then how I get in shape like that? Because I've been working on my whole life, but you know, shit, I ain't never really got rid of them love handles and stuff like that. Should be in and out. But basically, he taught me how to track my macros. You know, and basically tracking your macros is weighing out your food. You know, like, in this time and age, so many people eating 3,000 calories plus 3,500 calories in a day. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. And you wonder why you can't lose weight. You know what I'm saying? You going to the gym and you're not losing no weight because you're eating 3,000 calories plus. And if you're trying to get bulk, then cool. But the thing is this, right? So this is how he breaks it down.
Okay.
So it goes like this, right? Okay. Let's say you start from where you are, right? When I started, I was like 230 or something like that. So the goal is to get me shredded, right? So it's for me to like lose a lot of weight and get real shredded, and then I'm gonna bulk back up. Okay?
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna shred down again, I'm gonna bulk back up. Shred down again, bulk back up until you find that happy medium. Once you find that happy medium, it becomes a lot easier to maintain because you don't went through the hard shit, you know what I'm saying? And then you don't went through the hardship of getting back up. But then as soon as it's like a teleport, you go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, bam! You find the middle, and then that's where you want to stay at, man. So you track your carbs, you know, you track your fats, you track your proteins, and if you just hitting that shit every single day, then you're gonna be straight, man. And really, it's more freedom to eat kind of what you want to eat, just as long as you're able to fill in these holes, man. Where okay, I filled in my gap. I ate 175 grams of protein or 210 grams of protein today. I ate 49 grams of fat today. I ate, you know what I'm saying, 200 or 300 carbs today, and you straight. You know, you just got to keep working out.
Got you. So I heard you through this conversation that you mentioned different mentors as far as David Williams, Wes Watson. I know Tim Stories is one of your mentors. Talk about what's the importance of having a mentor and how that can help you develop and get the skills that you're looking for and the community that you join in when you partake in a mentorship.
Yeah. So, you know, having a mentor, you hear this all the time. They're gonna speed up the process, man. But if you ain't willing to put in the work, having a mentor don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Having a mentor don't mean nothing because at the end of the day, I'm not paying for knowledge. You know, you can get knowledge from ChatGPT. You can get knowledge from Google. You know, you can get knowledge from, you know, all sorts of places because knowledge is just everywhere.
Yeah.
But what I'm paying for is wisdom. You know, because these people have done it and they've been doing it and they're going to continue to do it. And there's so much that they're going to learn throughout the process that ChatGPT can't necessarily teach you. Yeah. So ChatGPT can give you knowledge, but it can't necessarily give you wisdom. Wisdom is going to come from somebody who actually tried it, who did it, who's seen the little tiniest tweaks. And just by making those tiny tweaks, you know, it actually put them into the next level. ChatGPT or Google can miss these tweaks because they didn't live it. So you got to actually live it. So I'm paying for wisdom. I'm paying for experience. I'm not necessarily paying for knowledge. And by having these people's wisdom, it's like I'm living their past stories because they're able to give them to me. And then from the past stories, I'm able to implement it. So the thing I'm really good at is closing the gap between wisdom and action. I get your wisdom and I put the action behind it. You know what I'm saying? I get your wisdom and I put my wisdom behind it and I put my action behind it. And then I'm able to teach it as well.
I think you dropped something. Those are gems right there. I'm gonna need you to go get that. I'm gonna need you to go get that.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Hey, that was some game right there.
Word.
All right, so let's get into.
Oh, YUMP! What's up, my future real estate moguls? Welcome to CRM Systems, which stands for Plug and Play Real Estate, where we're all about helping you shine in any market. I'm Francis John Nunez, and I am absolutely thrilled you decided to stop by. Imagine having compelling letters ready to go for off-market prospecting, client acquisition, referrals, buyer and seller correspondence, and so much more. It's like having a secret weapon in your real estate arsenal. But hold on, because we got something even more exciting for you. For a limited time, we're offering our complete real estate letter bundle, not for the regular price of $1,798, but for an exclusive price of $298. Inside the bundle, you'll find over 300 letter templates that cover every aspect of the real estate game. Each template is crafted to captivate and engage your audience, saving you time and ensuring that the message hits right on time every time. And all you have to do is put your name on it, your email, phone number, and DRE number. Isn't this wonderful? But look, here's the real game changer. You can now take your marketing to the next level effortlessly. Just add your information, change the photos, and customize the colors to align with your personal brand. Elevate your brand and captivate your audience with a diverse range of templates. Don't miss out. Seize this opportunity now. Upgrade to the complete package and transform your real estate promotions like never before. Just click on the link below and unlock the power of over 70 templates for today's exclusive price. But don't just take our word for it. Listen to what fellow real estate professionals are saying about how these letters help transform their real estate business.
I just got the CRM system, phenomenal system, a lot of value to it.
Here outdoor knocking today, we're gonna do 25 doors at least. We have our CRM systems with us.
And the CRM system is amazing.
I started to really sit down and look at, okay, well, what are some of the areas that I want to focus on? I'm like, wow, this program has everything and more.
Dude, if you're a new realtor in the business or even a seasoned realtor who's been in the business for a while, you want to check out his content. It's full of content. He has a vault full of content. It'll help generate more business for you.
Like, I am a new agent, but it's helped me get through my process pretty simple. Like, I don't have to feel any anxiety that I'm messing something up or saying the wrong thing.
I'm a new agent, so I feel like this is gonna blow up my business.
If you're a real estate agent and don't have the CRM system, you're missing out.
CRM Systems, I want to thank you so much. Everything that I do, all I have to do is just plug my name in and boom, start sending away. I really appreciate you. This is an awesome system.
And I think what I love most is the intention behind it. Like, it's built by, realtors for realtors. And it's just a full circle program. And so just want to share that. I love it. So, and I think you will too.
So check it out. I think it's worth every time and every penny you're gonna spend on it. And if you don't try, you will never know.
Get it today, order it. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. This is a really good system.
Here's to your success. See you on the other side.
Speaking about different things as far as what led you to become who you are today and just different experiences and mentors or whatnot, what are 4 key principles that you feel that help you get to where you at or that you would suggest someone to stand on?
Yeah, definitely. Take full accountability, you know what I'm saying? Even if it ain't your fault. Sometimes if you have that energy and you have the ability to just take it and say, look, I'll take that energy, then do it. I even give you a story. Like, when I was younger, man, and, I had friends come over and play, and, if they broke something in my house, I'm not that friend that's going to tell on my friend. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to have to just take that punishment. I'm going to have to take that beat and say, look, Mom, shit, I broke it. You know what I mean?
Like, I don't know about whoopings nowadays. These kids, they don't know about a whooping today.
But you know, but that comes with being a leader, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just comes with being a leader as well, man. So I would say that. Also, just having integrity to do the right thing, whether or not anybody else is looking. I would say if you can't control it, don't think about it. You know, and then also, man, like death is promised to all of us. You know, so live every single day like your last minute is right here, right now.
Hey, those are some strong ones to stand on. I respect it. So coming as far as you are already running your own video editing production and whatnot, and I was already working on my production multimedia company and whatnot, working on cameras and stuff like that. And we came to this point of where we start collaborating and start working together a lot. What was, from your lens of how this happened, what was your view?
Yeah, good question. So my view was basically like I start putting this image in my head, and it's crazy because we're actually living it now, right? And you always talk about I got main character energy, man, but I was literally just putting this movie together, and I was like, I asked, I was like, well, show me who needs to be here with me on this journey, and then I was just scrolling through people's pages and shit, and then scrolling through my feed, and I start seeing you know what I mean, a little bit more and more. You dropping like gems, you talking like some smart shit. And I was like, okay, hold on, he got a mind on this. My partner from back in the day, you know what I mean? Like we crossed paths and shit, you know what I mean? And it was like, as we get older, you start appreciating people for who they were and who they're becoming. So I started really appreciating you for who you were and who you were becoming. So I started watching you a little bit more online, and I was like, okay, hold on. You know, you start off some of your videos like, you know, peace to the people, we all one, we all equal, something like that. How it go?
Peace and love to the people, we all got power, we all equal.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then after you say that, you start going into some kind of gem, something that you experienced for the day and the lesson you learned out of it. So I started seeing you more and more and being more and more consistent with that. And I was watching you for maybe like 2 or 3 months, dog. And then I was like, okay, once this idea clicked, and I was like, all right, cool. This is what I want to take this journey with. So then that's when I hit you. It was like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, this is what I got on my mind. You know, I'm planning on taking this thing pretty far. You with it? You know? And you was like, shit, I'm with it. And then shit, we just took off, man. You've been rocking with me, dog, man. And, you know what I'm saying? Never complain. You know, it's been a learning journey, a learning experience, but just wait till season 2, because we done ironed out all the details. You know what I mean? And you've been solid, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been going places, traveling. We done been to Florida. You know, we done been to different podcast setups, and we bring our own stuff. You got your Black Magics, you got your Canons, you got your lights, and you just really came and really implemented it, man. It really helped me a lot with this whole Yumpyard podcast thing, dog. And you know, you forever got my loyalty for sure.
Yeah, facts. And it's vice versa that the exposure you gave me to certain rooms that I probably would have never got in by myself, but the fact that you had a foot in the door, and it's like, look, hey, Don, come over here and get this information. Like plenty of times, multiple times where like he pulled me along, like, come get this information. Where like, you just don't have, like, a lot of times where we come from, we don't know what rooms we should be in. Like, there's a lot of different rooms that we need to be in that we don't even know exist. So it's just like, just getting introduced to Tim Stories. This is like a guy that's mentoring, like, man, like celebrities, like touching
Jay-Z, Kanye.
Like, he's touching everybody. So it's just being able to run into people like that and people that's working in the industry. I'm like, damn. Like, so I take that, I'm like, okay, like, he's providing value and I'm reciprocating and providing value, bringing my expertise as far as cameras and equipment and whatnot. And then we got to a point where we started collaborating, working with these different coaches or whatnot, helping them get their content out there. So we got to a point where it was like, you know what, let's form a production as far as working on helping people brand their material and getting their content out there, because we've been doing this as like just off the strength, like for the most part, and it's just like, let's really get into it and then like really make this a thing where we can help people brand themselves, because a lot of times people are getting out there and they're just shooting just random stuff with their phone, and it just looked like this rinky dink, like like it was like, what the hell is that? But I'm like, people don't know what they don't know, and they're just starting at wherever they're at. But being where we at with the understanding and the mindsets that we have, the experience, we're able to help people to really grow their business and put out high quality content for them that would distribute to potential clients that's going to reel in more revenue. And we're here to be of service, you know, because that's what we stand on, of being a service. As he always said, we try to be go-givers. Like, don't try to be so much a go-getter, be a go-giver. And that goes, it goes a long way, like when you're trying to be of service and you're doing it from the heart, you know. So just throwing it out there as a production duo, Gift of Visionary Group. We're here to be of service, to help you grow your business. And hey, if you're interested, we can talk numbers. Because, hey, that's what it boils down to.
Well, yeah, you know what I'm saying? We got all the packages, we got all the numbers. We know exactly what it is that you need. We have different things for different people. You know, there's going to be different stages that you may be in which we can meet you there and take you to the next stage. You know, we already set our mind up to work with big businesses, people who understand the value of these type of services, where you can actually have someone come in and film you for a few hours, take that footage, chop it up into a month worth of reels, put the B-rolls, put the special effects, put the captions and all of that, and schedule it out for you as well. So not only do we come and shoot your videos, we actually create reels out of your videos, and then we actually post your videos for a whole month. And we can even engage with your audience if you want us to. We can even help you run ads. We can even help you set up a podcast if you want. You know, if you want to do something like what we got, Run and Gun. Look, we got the formula. We've been doing this and we figured it out. We've written down every single thing that we do so that we can keep track of everything we do, so we can give it to you on a silver platter.
We got the sauce. Hey, Ragu don't even got this. We got that sauce. So what you want to get into as far as topic wise? Is there anything specifically you want to dive into? Because I asked the questions that I needed to ask.
Gotcha.
We still need to tap into your book, but you know,
yeah,
there too.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. So, I would say basically, you know, look, man, it's just so much that I feel like I have to offer the world. It's just so much that I feel like you have to offer the world. And I think that creating a platform like this is going to help us get our message out. And also, if you have a message, you know, feel free to reach out to us. You know, you can email us at fjn@yumpyard.com. And if you want to become, you know, a guest on a podcast, then that's where you'll reach us at. And for those of you who are watching right now, make sure that you do follow Yumpyard everywhere, you know. So that's Yumpyard on TikTok, that's Yumpyard on Instagram, Yumpyard on Facebook, Yumpyard on YouTube, Yumpyard on Spotify, you know what I mean?
Like, subscribe, and share.
Like, subscribe, and share.
It costs you nothing.
You know what I mean? Costs you nothing, man. And look, you know what I'm saying? We are supporters of those who support us. We also support those who don't even know about us yet. But hey, if you have a goal, if you have a vision, if you've been underestimated, then you have our support. You know, and continue to tap in, man. Make sure you know, click the bell and get the notifications, man. But look, this is what we're going to do right here, dog. Look, man. So, I don't know if you've ever heard of anything called a Stoic. You know what I mean? We talk about triple the things that changed my life, and honestly, reading the book, The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday, really changed my life like overnight, damn near. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in a point where I was just like kind of lost, trying to find my way, trying to find myself, and really just get clarity in what was going on and happening around me in my environment, in my life, in my world. And once I picked that book up, it really broke everything down for me. You know, it felt like it resonated with my spirit and my soul in the sense of, wow, I can really fucks with this. So The Daily Stoic is a book that you read every single day. You wake up and there's a day and there's a message. You meditate on the message and you go out and you live your day. You implement what it is that you read for that day message. Now, when I first picked up the book, I started off with the day I was actually on, but then I was like, you know what? this is too damn good. And I started it on like June 27th or something like that. And I was like, this is too damn good. I can't read this just once a day. I got to get to it now. And so I read the book from start to finish within a few days. And literally after I finished reading that book, I was speaking different. The things I was seeing were different. I was letting people be who they truly were, you know, instead of trying to change them into what I seen them being, you know, because I used to get frustrated with myself, and you know, Pastor Bill once told me that that's my biggest frustration, is seeing potential in people and they don't see it in themselves, you know. So once I realized that through this book, that you just let people be who they are, let people live out their own life and you know, their own journeys, then I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna let people be who they are, and I'm gonna give a little helping hand to kind of guide them into certain, you know, directions. But if they don't take it, that's on them. I'm not gonna force it. And then also just, you know, being able to control the controllables. You know, I control what I can control, which is my mind, which is my actions. You know what I'm saying? And just doing that really propelled me in life as well. Handling death. Man, I've been to a lot of funerals. I've seen a lot of people die around me, you know, and it just got to a point where it's just like, damn, is this what life is about? Just really just constant death? And you know, becoming a Stoic really helped me deal with that, because at the end of the day, I have no control over who dies, in a sense, you know? And so that helped me deal with death. And so, yeah, man, like that was a pivotal thing too. You know, I told you we was gonna pick back up on some things that kind of helped change me and mold me into the person I am. And I owe a lot to that book. And one day, I'm sure you guys have been hearing a lot, which is Outwitting the Devil. You know, that helped me a lot as well in regards to, you know.
That's a very good book.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like your vices and stuff like that. Or like, you know, stop smoking cigarettes, stop drinking alcohol. You know, the food that you eat is all tricks of the devil. And then also, you know, something that keeps the devil's name alive is church, because they pump the fear of the devil or Satan into the people that attend church. Now, one thing I must say though, man, is that as I continue to elevate in these circles, the faith of God and the faith of Jesus Christ is really in high levels. I always thought it was going to be the opposite. I always thought, you know, the higher you get, the more you know, Masonic it was going to be, because that's what they push out on television and stuff. But actually, in the lane I'm in, the higher I'm getting, the more it's all about God and Jesus and walking in the faith and walking in His path. And you know, it's crazy, 'cause I didn't like really grow up in the Christian church or anything like that. I was actually a Catholic. And then again, Pastor Bill, which was he had a church right across the street from my house in his garage, and I would attend that, and that's when I actually started learning the Word. And like many of us, I started having questions that sometimes just couldn't get answered. But the thing is that the more higher I get, the more I want to learn the Word. 'Cause I see people just, you know, reciting verses just off the top of their head. I'm like, damn, that shit sound cool. I want to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? But it's a battle, man. I'm facing with myself, in which, you know, like I know who God is. God speaks to me. You know, but when I say things like that, people want to ask me a deeper question, which is, well, who is God? Who is God to you? And I would never answer that question, because once I give God a definition, He's no longer who He truly is. The same way I feel like once you give the color red a label, red is no longer what it really truly is. You know what I mean? Air is no longer what it really truly is. We can only put our own human beliefs into it and say, you know, oh, these are the molecules that's inside of air. You know, it's H2O, whatnot. And once you give it these things, these humanly definitions, it's no longer what it truly is. And that's why I'm careful with the things I say, because definitions take away from what the thing you're defining really and truly is.
Yeah, a lot of times people place labels on things because it helps them understand what it is. And that essentially, when you place labels on something, you box it in to just be limited to that. And when you speak on God, if you try to really label what God is, because so, for example, a lot of people, when they say God, they say He. I grew up doing that. Like, I grew up Christian. I'm not necessarily the most religious now. I believe in God. I'm more spiritual and whatnot. But through my understanding, I'm like, God is a more omnipresent being, not limited to man or woman, just divine energy, and that's how you get the divine masculine and divine feminine. But that alone, where you just box something in, is like the power that God can display on people and impose on people's lives to change it and be great and magnificent.
Right.
So I'm of the nature of like, I get it. Like, you got people that's going to be like heavy on the word as far as the Bible. I grew up reading it and whatnot, but people tend to feel like their religion is the one that have a monopoly on God. And that's the craziest thing to me, like personally, because I'm like, how you feel like your God is better than this? Like, I look at religion as basically as your choice on how you choose to, what's the word? Your way of how you choose to, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, to worship God.
Okay.
So every like different religion have their own principles or whatnot, layout or whatnot. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm like, I don't knock nobody. I have Christian friends, Muslim friends, Buddhist. Like I know very different like walks of life of people.
Right.
So it's just you and your understanding. I allow people to be them because that's what's connecting them to the higher power. If that's what's connecting you and it's keeping you out of trouble, you ain't doing no harm to nobody. Hey, everybody don't live like that. I'm just the type, I'm not overly judgmental, and I allow people to operate the way they want, because the way I believe might not be the same how they believe. And the way they believe is probably necessary for them to keep on going through the world, because this world is a crazy place and it's getting crazier. So they cope to certain teachings or whatnot that help them through, and that's what they know.
Yeah.
So that's my personal view on it.
And I can appreciate that. It's just like somebody just called you a photographer.
Yeah, I'm more than a photographer.
Exactly. So, but once they box you in and call you a photographer, your spirit don't sit well with just being called a photographer, because like, I'm more than a photographer.
Yeah.
Don't just call me no photographer. I'm more than that. Now you done give me a definition that that's one thing I am. You know what I'm saying? But I'm way more than that.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people get caught up in being defined. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody may call somebody a rapper. That rapper may feel like, I'm not just a rapper. You know what I'm saying?
I'm an entertainer. Like, I do more than just rap.
You know what I mean? I'm a philanthropist. Like, you can be a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They're going to label you one thing because that's what they know you as. But once they give you a definition, you're no longer to them who you truly are, to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hear some heat up in the comments when they see this one. But because I'm like, people tend to be so married to their ideology of how they perceive life, the world, whatever teachings that they had. Like you said, like, you had questions and people couldn't answer certain questions, and so it made you go look for certain answers and what resonates with you, and you come to your own understanding.
Right.
And I mean, to each their own. Like, wherever you fall at in that, hey, that's your truth. Live your truth.
Yeah, man. And granted, I'm never going to have a debate with somebody who knows the Bible because they know the Bible. You know what I mean? My thing is, like, I look at the world from where I can see it. You know what I mean? What makes sense to me? What's happening? What are the patterns that I can spot that'll give me some answers that maybe nobody else can give me? You know what I'm saying? Just like how I look at just life around us in general. Like, what makes our life that much better than the ant's life? You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, we're all playing this game called life. And we all have, life inside of us, but not everybody's living.
Yeah.
You know? So you can have life, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're living. Now, when you squish a roach on the floor, you know what I'm saying? It's so easy for you to do that. Squishing a roach on the floor is just like, to me, shit, shooting somebody in the head, you know? It's boom, gone. Why should you cherish a human life more than you cherish a roach's life or an elephant's life or a lion's life? At the end of the day, it's all life, you know? So if God created all life, then that means God created all life.
Yeah.
You know, and he says, hey, I create all of this for you. At the end of the day, you know? But the trees, they have life. They grow from a seed. We grow from a seed. And even death, man, the way I look at death is like when the semen is released from the testicles and it goes into the egg, it dies from the testicles. So it has life in the testicles. You know what I mean? It's literally like a thing in the testicles. And then it leaves there, so it dies out of the testicles, and it goes and it travels into the egg. Now it's born into the egg. You know what I'm saying? And now it's going to form into a fetus. And then that fetus is going to form inside of the mother's womb. And once it's released out of the mother's womb, it dies from the mother's womb, from that life it had in the mother's womb. And now it's born into this world. So now it's going to live into this world. It's going to grow from a seed into a bigger thing, just like it went from a seed into a bigger thing inside of the stomach. And then it's going to die again. So literally where it just keeps going on and on and on. So we can be cells inside of a testicle right now, but this is just the way we look at it. This is the way we see it, you know. And then we're going to die out of this.
Just out here in the world's nuts. Yeah. we just out here in the world's nuts.
Hey, yeah, I'm telling you, man.
But the rewind real quick.
We are just cells in the world's nuts. You know what I'm saying?
So rewind real quick, just to touch on, so I want people to understand, as far as the Bible, like there's a lot of different lessons in the Bible. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm downplaying the Bible or anything like that. There's a lot of information and knowledge in there, so don't get that twisted. Going back to what you were saying, dying as far as coming out the scrotum and then going and coming out the womb. I don't look at it necessarily as dying. I look at it as transitioning. So from one point, and you transition into a different phase, and you transition into a different phase, and then even as you die, we supposedly go to this afterlife or whatnot. That's transitioning into that life. That's just my way as far as, because I'm like, I always think like words are powerful, and the choice of words, like I'm real particular about it. But that's just me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like if you were one person at one point in your life, like that person kind of died. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
But then it's the same thing as transition. You transition from that life into this life. You know, I get you. It's kind of the same thing.
It's the same thing.
I use death as just saying, you know, because I like the word death. I mean,
I like when it comes to that, because to grow, sometimes you do have to kill off your old self, like really completely detach from that. In that aspect, I mess with that. But it's just like it's all the same.
It's just like skin cells, right? Like the skin cells we walked into this interview with are no longer the skin cells we're going to walk out of this interview with. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a little bit more ash in the corner of this finger right here. You know what I mean? So your skin cells are dying. You know, they're not transitioning. You know?
So it's just nut debris. Just debris. We nuts up in the cells in the nuts, just debris.
I'm telling you, dog. It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy the way I feel like this world works. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the way I think about it, it works for me. You know?
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? Even.
But the thing is, like, we're both thinkers. Like, we don't just somebody tell us this is how it's supposed to be. We're like, that's interesting. Let me go see if that's really, and we try to figure it out and break it down. And because we're just not going to just be sold on word of mouth.
Right.
And it's just like, I really got to understand what this is. So we continue to think about it. The thinker is the one that changes the world, especially the thinker that takes action.
Right.
And, you know, so, because you can sit around and think all day, but if you're not really trying to put none of these into practice and see how just do that, like Albert Einstein had to go, you know, he had to go do that. Henry Ford had to go do that. Like, that's just what it, no, was it Henry Ford or Thomas Ford? I don't know. My mind's slow, it's late. But anyways, like, you got to go put things into action to see if it really works. If not, then you're just going to go by theory. And it reminds me of C.T. Fletcher. Like, they'll tell him, like, you ain't supposed to do this when you work out. And he always like, this pencil pushing motherfucker, what the hell you gonna tell me? Like, I'm out here doing it. But the people that try to limit things to theory, they're not brave enough to try it and see if it really works. Because sometimes the mind overpowers what that is. Like, people at a certain time thought the mile run can only be ran like at a certain time, and then now you got kids in middle school breaking that record. So it's like, it's the mental limitations that we have to break off and and become more, and understand that there's a lot more in the tank than what we are led to believe initially.
Right. And the thing is that, you know what I'm saying, like, there's nothing new under the sun. Like, these thoughts I have, they're not new. You know, these are just thoughts that another being had, and it went into me once that being transitioned out of this life. You know what I mean? So, so at the end of the day, you know, like, my thoughts aren't new, and I don't think they're new. The thing is, like, what am I going to leave here on this earth so that when the new beings are born into this earth, they're going to see something that I left here, right? For example, somebody left the Bible here. You know, somebody left school here. Somebody left politics here. Somebody left policing here. Like, these are all ideas that literally came up from nowhere. They had to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, so when people be like, you know, I hate when people try to downplay me for having original thoughts. You know what I mean? Well, at least original in my sense, even though, again, nothing's new under the sun, but it's original to me because I didn't experience it back then. At least I can't remember it. So the thing is that, you know, I like having original thoughts. Like, I would sit here and, let me ask you this, right? When was the last time you actually had a conversation with someone and talked about things that you didn't see on social media, talk about things you didn't see on TV, talk about things you didn't read in a book, talk about things you didn't hear from somebody else, just talk about things that are literally coming into your mind and out of your mouth and into the next person's ear, and they're taking what you just said, creating their own original thought and giving it right back to you. See, so many times, though, we get caught up in just talking about what we see, you know what I mean, on TV, or what we read in the newspaper, or what we read in a book. Like, these are all things that were placed here for us to speak about. When are we going to just say, okay, it's time to start having original thoughts that have not been placed into our mind by something else that has been left here? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like, because I agree with you 100%, because when you look at movies being remade, shows being remade, songs being redone, people sampling, and like, there's nothing wrong with sampling, but when you sample a song and then you don't try to recreate something new out of it, and it sounds like the original, like, to me, it's being lazy, creatively lazy. And it's like, why not push the envelope on that to create something new and a new experience, something that we haven't seen before? I get it. If the formula is working and you're getting results out of it as far as whatever gain you're looking for, I get it. And if that's what you want to die on, that's cool. But for us to really push the envelope to see where we can really take this, you have to be daring to try something new, think something new, create something new, experiment. Let me try. Okay, that's a new sound. Or the way I did the coloring for this shot, nobody ever did it like that. Like, stuff like that. Like, we wouldn't be able to get people creating green screen looks or whatnot somebody didn't try. Right. And now we're in the era where, we've been in the era, but as far as like creating environments, virtual environments with green screen, with like green screen and Blender and all that stuff, that's camera talk, whatever. But but like, being able to be daring to try something new, and I get it, like, when you try something new, to the masses, they kind of think you look goofy, and they don't really understand it yet. But it's only delusional until it works. Right. You know, so it's just like, you have to try it. They gonna think you crazy, but when it works, like, I always need that you're a genius. But man, get out of here. He didn't know. So that's the thing. I like.
But do you think it's easy to have an original thought?
Like you said, everything that's happened has been done under the sun. So in a sense, you're probably going to take something from something, but at the same time, you can evolve that thought to become more. So, for example, we used to have landline phones.
Right.
now we got a fucking whole video production laptop in our hand.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, when you really think about that, somebody like, there was an original thought to that where we had rotary phones, and now we're in technology at the level that we at. So
we had telegrams, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, Paul Revere delivered like we're not in that time no more. So I think like it's possible to take something that's existing and making it into something more. Because again, there's nothing new under the sun. Like, I believe there's pockets where you can create something new, something original, but it's rare, it's far in between.
Well, what about like just what about if you was just to like look at something, right, and break it down to make sense, where it's like, well, I think if this is like this, then I think this is like this. You know what I mean? For example, right? I'll give you one. I'll give you an original thought right now. Let me download it. Okay. Everything is already here, right? The aliens are here. The lions are here. The elephants are here. The roaches are here. The ants are here. The anteaters are here. The sharks are here. Everything is already here. Do you really believe that elephants know we're here? Do you really believe that chimpanzees and apes know that we're here? Like, do you think all of them know that we're here?
All of them know. Because you have to encounter to know.
You have to encounter to know. Now, granted, there may be some apes and chimpanzees that's encountered a human right before they ended up in a zoo or shot or some shit.
Hey man, I seen this. I seen some shit I ain't never seen before. Some dude, 2 legs, and standing up straight. They over there. Hey, he shot. I don't know if he shot. Is that a word shot? What? They over trying to explain it like,
exactly.
Hey, don't go over there.
You know what the homie chimpanzee gonna be like, or the homie ape gonna be like? Then them aliens I've been telling you about. Then them aliens I've been telling you about. You know what I'm saying?
You got the woke chimpanzees like, hey brother, I've been trying to tell you for a long time. They out there looking.
Yeah. And everybody was like, nah, I don't know, man. I think we the only ones here, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's all here. You know, like, here's the thing, right? Working at SpaceX taught me this. It taught me, you know, how to get a job and hustle at the job, but it also taught me this. I tell you about that story too, man. When I was actually, I was selling all type of shit at SpaceX. Like, literally, I was like,
we're gonna leave that off the camera.
Nah, man, get into it, dog. Like, I was tripling my paychecks. You know what I'm saying? I'll take my paycheck, man. This was the time when I was doing music too. You know what I'm saying? So I'll go put that money into my music career. Boom. And then I'll get my CDs printed out, you know, everything like that. The album drop is called Universatile. You know what I mean? Because it's talking about how versatile I was. Because I am versatile. I've been through so much. I've seen so much shit.
Real quick, it's interesting how, like, people tap in a certain frequency and think similar ideas. You say versatile. And I remember working on a song before called Versatile. But like, you get it, like, but I don't know, continue.
That's crazy. So you know what I mean? So I was selling my CDs, I was selling weed. Because you gotta think, man, these people getting paid every single other week, right? And so I knew they had money. Instead of me going out there and finding people who have money, I knew that right here at this job place, you know, at the hangar, people were getting paid every single 2 weeks. And I knew when they was getting paid. I knew when I was gonna go pick up their check.
I was getting my check.
You know what I'm saying? I knew when and I was putting my check into stuff that I can sell right back to them. You know what I mean? So as they're getting their check, I'm getting my check, buying something I can sell to them, and then I'm tripling my money. You know what I mean? Quadrupling my money. Sometimes even 10 times my money. You know what I mean? And I use some of that money to go buy something else and get more of it. You know what I'm saying? So everything I've ever done always has something to do with hustling, man. My pops told me, dog, if you go hustle, keep a job. You know what I mean? Granted, I ain't had that many jobs in my life. You know what I'm saying? But I had jobs. You know what I'm saying? But I always hustle. You know what I mean? No matter what, I always hustle. You know? And that was a crazy thing, man. But, you know, going back to the original thought, right? Lions may not exist here. We may think that aliens don't exist here on Earth. They may be coming from outer space or the Nebulum, Planet X, whatever you want to call it. And then they land on this planet. Nah, man, everything is already here. They're not coming from outer space. You know what I mean? Working at SpaceX, like I was saying earlier, taught me that, yeah, we're going to continue to launch something and make it sound like it's getting all the way up out of here, like way past the atmosphere, so that people would think that something's coming in. You know what I mean? So we can continue to launch something out, then people will automatically assume that something can come in. But why do you think Elon got so smart? He started realizing that, look, we're wasting money just shooting this shit up and landing it in the ocean where we can't go find it. He said, let's just shoot it up. It's not going that far past the atmosphere anyways. We'll land it right back on, you know what I mean, on a flat surface, and then we'll repurpose the you know what I'm saying, the rocket and stuff like that, like the Falcon 9, the Dragon that's on top, you know what I mean? We'll repurpose all this stuff, man. So he got smart with it, dog, because he knows that ain't nothing really leaving this atmosphere, man. Ain't nothing really coming in. And that's just one thing I really believe, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a thought that I ain't never thought of. And not educated enough to even speak on. That's beyond my scope.
Word.
But hey, like, you just really never know how life works. Like, even going into just quantum physics and stuff, and just different realities happening at the same time. I mean, when you think about the Spideyverse or the multiverse and stuff like that, the different potentials that can happen, but it's all based on your decisions. Life is a series of decisions that lead you to certain conclusions, and to keep on going, just decisions, and you end up where you're at based off the decision that you made. So it's an endless possibility of what's going on out there, and then only one that knows is the higher power. And we gonna need you to talk to us, because there's a lot of stuff going on down here. It's getting real ghetto down here.
Hey, listen, check this out, man. The world is going to end in 2027, so I hope you guys are prepared. I hope you guys have your rifles, because at the end of the day, there is going to be a zombie apocalypse. You know what I mean? We don't know what those COVID shots are going to turn people into over time. If you go to the CDC.com, you're going to see that there is a protocol for a zombie apocalypse. You know what I mean? So the Center of Disease Control, if they already have things in place to help us figure out and make our way through the zombie apocalypse, then it might be something there, right? So I urge you to actually go to the CDC website and actually check it out and read it yourself in regards to the zombie apocalypse. Something is coming. 2027 is going to be a pivotal time in our life. Right now, everybody feels it. You know what I mean? The tensions were high with the new presidential election. Things are going to start coming down a little bit, because, you know, things are going to start fixing itself, and then boom, the old world dies and the new world is born. The new world is going to be born to technology. Our new savior is going to be in the form of technology. Who's to say that these AI robots and AI isn't going to deliver technology to all of us and say, here, this is going to make life easier. This is how I'm going to save you all. Granted, in the book, it does say that the savior is going to come back. Who's to say he didn't already come back? How many times do you think the Savior has came and has been wiped off this earth? Because it's not necessarily a body warfare. It's not necessarily a physical warfare. It's a spiritual warfare. And every time that spirit is born into this earth, it's wiped out one way or another by another spirit that was born to wipe it out. The Matrix tells you a lot about what's actually happening. The movies tell you a lot about what's actually happening. It's time for us to start waking up and realizing that they're programming our subconscious mind to make us bring these things into existence. They know we have manifestational powers. So one way or another, we're going to manifest this shit into our own lives. When we all go to the movies and they say that millions and millions of people have seen this movie and paid for this movie and watched it on DVD, or excuse me, not DVD, we're past that now, but watched it on Amazon or watched it on Netflix or watched it in actual movies, guess what? When we watch it, it programs our blank canvases called a mind. Our minds are literally blank canvases that have been written on through the things that have been left here or placed here to actually draw the pictures in our head. Once the pictures are drawn in our head, we manifest it into real life. Let's just say 1 billion people watch the same movie, and that movie was programming us to subconsciously bring these things to life. Do you think we cannot bring these things to life if 1 billion people watch the same thing? Control your narrative, control your mind. There's some things out here that are happening. There's plans out here that are put in place for us to be destroyed. So it's up to you on what you want to do with that.
Yeah, that was a mouthful. It went on to all right. So that was a tangent. Hey, I feel like I just watched a quick little sci-fi movie trailer breaking down what's to come in the near future. The new Terminator movie or whatever. I forget the program that destroyed everything, but. I don't know, like the world is a very interesting place. Technology, the thing about technology is that as our technology is evolving, the people aren't, and we're not keeping up. So it's just like, it's almost like a dumb person with a smartphone.
Word.
It's like, so it's just like, what are we really doing? Because it's like, you're doing things like, I remember seeing something as far as them trying to, I can't think of the word that it's called, but trying to bring dinosaurs back. I'm like, why are you playing? Stop touching shit. Like, why? Like, out of all things, you try to stop touching shit. Like, and those be the things where you just get lost. Like, we got to make better decisions. Like, if we're going to create these things to advance us, at least do something that's going to really benefit us, like creating a shelter for all the homeless people downtown LA, San Diego, up north and everywhere in the world. Like stuff that's really going to, like, you worrying about killing off people because, as we know, like military arms, like, they sell like high. It's a lot of money in manufacturing guns and stuff like that. Right, it's a lot of money. But that's where we put in our focus in. I get it. Like, you got to protect yourself. But imagine a world where people like are really welcoming and embracing. Because I'm like, when you go to different places in the world, like. In the U.S. is interesting, and if you see how people operate outside of the U.S., where there's more camaraderie and people come together as a village and things like that, it just makes you sit and think, like, what are we really operating on, like the principles, and where did we stop being human? And it's just like, we getting so detached from the human experience where it's supposed to be love and camaraderie and picking up your neighbor and give, like, all these things that's supposed to be taught and spoken in the Bible or whatnot, but it's like we getting further and further away from that, and it's almost like we're destined to. It's going to get to a point where one of these motherfuckers is going to destroy the earth because they're doing too much.
Yeah, a perfect world can't exist.
It really can't.
A perfect world can't exist because as soon as this is why a perfect world can't exist, because as soon as you fix all of the problems in the world, that solution now becomes a problem. You know what I'm saying? So for every solution, eventually that solution becomes a problem. And then that problem is here to stay, and then a new solution comes. So the new solution is going to come, wipe out that problem, but now that solution becomes the problem. So there's going to be a new solution that comes, wipe out that problem, and it's going to be a continuous thing.
Because they're going to, with pharmaceuticals, they'll get more money out of you giving you a treatment than a cure. So why would I give you, like, that alone tells you how fucked up, like, shit is. It's just like, you rather just suffer, and then you price it so high where some people just can't afford it. Right. Like, where's like, and then we want to go to church on Sunday and say, God this, God that, and woo woo. I'm like, I don't think that's godly right there. Let's just be honest. Like, it's just be interesting how people be so contradicting. Right. And it's just like in a large scope of things, it's like, what are you doing to really help the world be better than what it was before you came? And I don't think people are tuning into that at a more hyper-focused way, because it's just all about gain, just me and mine, and it's just like thinking this group is better than that group, socialism, like classism, racism, like all of that. Like it's I don't know, I can't really call it.
No, that's a good point though, man. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the way it's all meant to be, man. You know, and at the end of the day, I feel like when this world wipes out, when the old world wipes out, you know, and then we find our way back, guess what else is going to find its way back into this world? A form of the Bible. You know? every time the world is wiped out, I guarantee each civilization has had some type of form of the Bible.
So you saying we're gonna pretty much be living Book of Egypt, Eli, Book of Eli.
Hey, if it's possible,
you see that one with Denzel?
Yeah, I couldn't really get into it, man. Like, he was a blind dude over here. I didn't even know he was blind at first. Until, like, shit, like later on in the movie.
No, but you saying like the world wiped itself out, but that was the thing that they was holding on. That was a viable thing because the thing with religion, like back in story time, it was used to have power over people. So they will utilize that to gain power and then manipulate. That's a whole story, whatever. But so that book was so important in that movie because it will give you ways of to understand the world, and you can manipulate the people. You know what I'm saying? You manipulate the truth. Yeah. So you give them the half truth. Respect your masters.
Right.
Like that whole thing.
Yeah, man. But you know what's crazy though? It's like, I just don't understand it sometimes. I just don't understand the Bible. If somebody can sit here and really break it down to me, you know what I mean, where it's not contradicting, you know what I'm saying, and it really makes sense, I want to go with it. You know what I mean? And the thing is that this is even more so why I want to really learn about the Bible even more and really become indulging in it, is because why are they taking religion and why are they taking God out of the schools? Why are they trying to remove God from our civilization? Why are they trying to, take the good out of things and implement it with evil? You know what I'm saying? Why are they doing this to our children's cartoons? And this is what makes me want to move closer and closer to the Bible, because why are they trying to take it out? So the moment you start trying to take something out is the moment I start looking at it like, hold on, it must be something in there that you don't really want us to know. You know what I mean? But then the thing is, like, as soon as I start going more so into the Bible, then there's going to be something that's going to be like, well, the Bible was written for, this group of people and not this group of people. You know what I mean? But what does the word say? Because that's what I want to dig deeper down to, is what the words say, and everyone has a different interpretation of it.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
It's like, damn.
It's left. It's all left to. It's all left to interpretation, because one person can read a message and break down a certain life lesson of it, and another pastor will break down some other life lesson to it. So it's left to interpretation and to the people, and it's. Yeah, the Bible is very informative, but even going past the Bible is like the information that's not in it, the Dead Sea Scrolls and all that stuff. So it just makes you start to think like something ain't adding up here. So it's just like, I don't know. That's why I start to get like deeper into looking into that stuff, listening to like what Billy Carson is saying. Like, he breaks a lot of that stuff down, like just deep dives into that. Yeah. So it's, I don't know, like some things is just it's beyond me.
It's a funny world here. We just all trying to figure our way out before we die, man. But this is something I want to drop with y'all, man. Look, as you know, I've been in a whole lot of high influential circles. You know what I'm saying? I'm around a whole lot of millionaires and billionaires that really do this shit in real life. And the thing that got me into these circles was this thing right here. See this thing right here? It's called a phone. You see this thing on the back of the phone? It's called cameras. You know what I mean? Lenses. You literally just put your phone out, record somebody, go to CapCut, hurry up and edit that shit, send that stuff to somebody's Instagram, and they look at it and they're like, damn, wait a minute, you sitting right here next to me. You just put your phone out maybe like 4 or 5 minutes ago.
That's the sauce.
And I already got a video that's already edited. You know what I'm saying? So this is your key, man, to get into high influential circles, because everyone wants content of themselves. And if you can figure out a way to turn this phone into a content maker and then help somebody else make the content, they're going to appreciate you, especially if it's quality and especially if it's quick. One thing that millionaires love is quality, and they love speed. So if you can deliver quality in a fast sense, in a fast way, they're going to love you. And then always remember, the more value you bring, the more they're going to need you. You know what I'm saying? And don't ever feel like they're not going to need you. Because if you can really bring some good value They're going to appreciate you, especially if you follow the G code, especially if you know when to be silent, especially if you know when to speak. Because as you continue to get into these circles, there's going to be times when you don't always have to talk. There's going to be times when you're going to have to just sit back and take it all in and learn and watch. You know what I mean? Too many people want to talk. But one thing about the Stoics is that we actually sit back and we observe. And that's something that I love doing. I'm gonna sit there and observe you, because before I even get to really try to know you, I gotta size you up. I gotta observe you. I gotta see how you move, how you talk. You know what I mean? Who you talking about? You know? Because sometimes, you know what I mean, like you start talking about somebody else's business, and I'm like, oh well, I know I can't tell you my business.
Yeah.
You know?
Facts.
So it's not easy to get in with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who you are. You're not gonna get in easily with me. So I gotta watch you. But here's the thing, though. You pull your phone out, you lead with service, and then from there, if they want you in the circles, then cool. If you're in the circles and you don't vibe with them, then get out the circle. It's that simple. You know what I mean?
And that's pretty much the sauce that we're going to be providing you as we're creating content for you. We're going to give you some on the spot, just off the rip, where you ain't got to worry about waiting a long time to get your stuff returned to you off the same day you leaving away with something, you know. And that's going to be just a key factor, and that should be everybody's key factor when it comes to working in the content space. Right. Because like you said, the key thing is going to be that speed and quality. If we delivering speed and quality, you're going to want that every time, and it ain't going to be the same when you go work with somebody else. You were like, nah, I need them back. I need that. Like, it's that blue magic.
Yeah, man. So listen, man, there's a message I want to leave people with right here, right now, man. It's the message that's been installed into me, you know, over the last few months, man, which is, you know, fix your daily habits. You know, if you can wake up early, wake up early. If you've been waking up early, try to wake up a little bit earlier. Read the books. You know what I'm saying? Show yourself reading the books. Show yourself waking up. Show yourself eating right. And show the quality of your life. And be vulnerable. You know what I mean? A lot of people aren't trying to be vulnerable these days, and that's why they're losing connection. You know, this is my journey of becoming more vulnerable, sharing my story, and, you know, even iron out what I want to tell in my story, you know? And so the thing is that the more vulnerable you are, then the more connection you're going to have with the people that's watching. So I hope I've been vulnerable enough with you guys, man, to connect with you guys. And it's just so much more. I can't get it all out in one episode. So you guys are going to have to continue to watch the Yumpyard podcast as we continue to dive into my story, as we continue to dive into Josh's story, as we continue to dive into some of our other guests' stories. This is something that we really want to give you guys in regards to the gems. Now take it as you want to. Go and do your own research. That's what I always tell people. But just open your mind up and actually allow the original thoughts to come into your mind. If your original thoughts is telling you, hey, maybe I should sit down and subscribe to this channel because there might be some gems that's going to be coming out on the next episode in the next season, then maybe you should fucking do that. You know what I'm saying? So just really take it all in with a grain of salt. And at the end of the day, man, I'm just here to lead with service. If there's anything on what I can do for you, you reach out to me. You find me, FJN at Yumpyard.com. You can find me at Francis J. Nunez on Instagram, Facebook, the whole nine. Josh, how can they get in contact with you, man?
Simmons _the_ creative. SXMMNZ. You can find me on my website if you ever want to book with me, if you're in Southern California, or I travel too, iebestphotography.com. So there you have it. And, hey, stay tuned for the book. The YUMP book is coming.
Dog. We didn't even get into the YUMP book, so let's get into it.
We gotta hold something. You know, we got one more. We're gonna be back to do this again because we're gonna document the journey. But by the time you see it, you're like, oh, that's what they was talking about. So you gotta keep the one more. You can't give them everything, man. Like,
we gonna keep it,
you know, as a hustler, you know that.
We gonna keep it,
give them a sample. You know what I'm saying? You're like, hey, man, I need that, baby. I need that.
Hey, man, but look, man, let me sprinkle this on you one time, man. So we do got the book coming out. You know what I mean? I got the book coming out. It's called Y.U.M.P. You Underestimate My Potential, Proven Strategies to Make You Go From Underestimated to Unstoppable. These are the things that I've done to go from underestimated to unstoppable. You're going to continue to see me rise and rise and rise and grind. You're going to continue to see millions fall into my pockets, billions fall into my pockets, and I'm going to trickle it down, you know what I mean, here, there, everywhere. And I just hope everyone really is able to benefit off of the knowledge and off of me tapping into my untapped potential. But not only am I tapping into my own untapped potential, I'm here to help you tap into your own untapped potential. Listen, I've been around some of the best coaches in the world, people who have coached Oprah Winfrey, people who have coached Kanye West, you know what I mean? I've been around Albert Preciado, Wes Watson, David Williams, Ty Lopez, the list goes on, and I have nothing but knowledge to share with you guys, nothing but wisdom to share with you guys, nothing but stories of my past, nothing but stories of my future, nothing but stories of my present to share with you guys that are watching. Let's connect. I'm all open arms, ready to bring y'all in, ready to teach you everything that I know, and it's all here for you to grasp it, use it, and run with it. It's that simple, baby. And can I get a, oh, yeah.